be the 3 proposals that he has. We will only sign one of them, and I'm hoping to get this done and completed by May, because you would like to start paving by July, right? Is it?
Yeah.
So that we're not waiting until the last minute to get this done. What you have in front of you are 3 different proposals. If I'm not mistaken, we budgeted about $200,000 in the budget for paving, and that's usually about what we get from the CHIPS funding. The first one is a proposal, hopefully I kept them in the same order as what I got online here. Staley Road, Soper Street, 3,940 feet, 12.5 is the type. It's going to be a 6P, Mike, I think they call that, top coat, or the top coat, number 6P, and then the thickness would be 2 inches, and the width of that road is 25 feet. The second one that he was looking at in this proposal was Soper Street, Turner, ending in Staley Road, the distance of 1 mile. Again, the same type of pavement, 2 inches deep, 22 foot is the width of that road. Those two would come up to $140,962.50, which would put him under the $200,000 budget we had. Second, if we'll allow it, second proposal would again be Staley and Soper at 3,940 feet. Military Turnpike, so Kelly Road to the dead end. That would be 12.5, or I think that's called a 6P for the top coat. And then it's 27 foot wide, that road, 2 inches deep. Again, the total for those 2 roads would be $217,485. If you like that proposal. What he'd really like to do, I'm guessing, is the third one. This one is again Staley Road, Soper, and Kelly, all together, all 3 of them. That would be at a cost of $313,071. Now naturally, he does not have the money. Let me see that for the second one. He'd be close because we budgeted for $200,000, but he'd still be over for the second one or the third one. We do have the ARPA funds, the American Rescue Fund Act money. It would under the new lenience of them assuming that each town lost $10 million, and we're going to receive about $500,000 of the funds between the 2 draws, the draw that we got last year and the one that we should receive around July of this year. We could potentially use some of the ARPA funds to offset the difference. So again, I'm not looking for you to make a decision on this tonight, but we would like, I'm sure Mike and I would like to have a decision, say by June, right? So that we could have this, maybe at our next May meeting. That's what I'm hoping we could come up with. So anybody got any?
How long ago did you get these estimates, the prices?
Just less than 2 weeks ago.
I just wonder, do they lock into any of this, or how does the
No.
gas prices affect it?
No,
It does.
It's gonna go up all the time.
And it fluctuates up and down. Now, if anybody's looked lately, and I almost lost my mind when I read it, the barrel oil just went down to $99 a barrel. So that wasn't supposed to happen. They projected it would continue to go up.
I haven't
I
seen
know
gas
that
prices
he's,
dropping much. They do.
No, they haven't, but
No.
we're talking about commodities on the market. So, he's taken our president has taken money or oil out of the strategic oil supply and trying to offset the prices that we're dealing with right now. It could go way back up after it's all said and done.
And that's what I neglected to do towards the end, at the end of it, was to say, you know, this is price
Is
is
that
not
good now?
guaranteed.
So we'd have to set a dollar figure of what we could spend or want to spend, and then adjust it.
You would be setting that
And then
dollar
it's
figure.
gonna be variable.
Right.
But, I mean, we could set the dollar figure at what you have here, and if we can get it all done for whatever that is, we can. If we can't, because it is a binding contract between the town and the highway superintendent, that there would be no more than that amount spent. If you guys wanna, if we're gonna use some ARPA funds, to offset it. The other thing, and I don't have Mary here, but I know that we could transfer money from the general fund to our highway department, but once it goes there, my understanding, if I remember right from, when we elected official school, we can't ever put it back the other way after. Once it's in the highway, it stays there. Is that correct?
I don't,
We have to look that one up, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes.
I don't think you could take general and put it in the highway, because you have the two general and highway taxes.
You do, but you can take from general to the highway, but you can't take from highway and put it back in the general, my understanding. But that's something that we can check out after.
Can't you take it and put it back within the year?
Well,
You could borrow,
Right. Is that what you meant?
sort of.
Yeah, okay.
what do you mean? Borrowing against borrowing against what? The general fund, you mean? I mean, we could do that for special districts even, but yeah, that you have to pay back within 12 months.
Right.
And there
But,
wouldn't be any money
but
there to
this,
pay back.
if you transfer it from the general to the highway, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. You just can't go the other way with it.
How about the CHIPS
We'll check into
funding,
that.
Mike? How are we sitting with CHIPS?
Well, they're not completely all in yet.
Right, and you won't have those till November, this upcoming year.
Well,
That's when we usually get the checks. You should have an idea of what you're gonna get, but we're not actually gonna get the CHIPS money
right,
until like
in November,
around
December.
November. Because that's when you reapply for the next year, it's October, November, and that's when you get them.
Yeah,
Oh, I've been doing it a couple of years, but usually once I've gone through it a couple times, I'm pretty good with it. But, like I said, this is not a decision that has to be done tonight. We just wanted to get this out here
Yeah,
so
just-
that we could be ahead of the game.
just a good start, I'm hoping, and we can discuss it.
What kind of money, Kevin, did you say that he has?
In the budget, we budget around 200,000. Here, Mike brings up an excellent point. We usually budget around 200,000 for paving. But all of your costs, along with all of us, have gone up. And what you could do for 200,000 5 years ago or 10 years ago is look at what he's trying to pave. I mean, we're talking feet in 1 mile or
Yeah, then
half
2
a mile, and you're looking at
A little over a quarter of a mile.
almost 300,000, close to, over $250,000.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we're gonna have to look at when we do budgeting this year for next year, and see if we have to right size some of those numbers. The other thing is, like I said, we have a pretty healthy general fund that we're gonna end up needing to start do special projects with. And I've said it at a couple of different meetings already. I don't want everybody getting nervous out there when I say that I probably would suggest that this town board does a local law to go over the 2% tax cap next year, so that we can utilize some of that money in our general fund and put it in the budget that year. Unfortunately, as soon as you put it in the budget, it automatically puts you over that 2% tax cap, even though you're not going to the residents and saying, you're gonna pay a higher tax for this money we're spending. It's already there, it's in the bank, so to speak, in the town. But it's still added to our complete budget. And that is subject to the comptroller's 2% tax cap. So I've been kind of easing that out there so everybody gets comfortable with the fact that even though you may see an increase and we may go over the 2% tax cap, you will not see an increase in your taxes for it because the money's already in the general fund. So those are things we're gonna have to look at and start early on for 2023, so that we can get some of these special projects through and get some money in it. And if we approve it for highway, so to speak, put 100,000 or 200,000 extra in the highway for paving. It doesn't set it in stone for 2024 that we continue to do that. You know, it's with their understanding that we had the extra money in the unallocated fund reserve in the general fund. And that it's time to kind of get some of that back down. We're at 998,000 when I started. We're up over 2 million right now. So the franchising fees, you know, Casella's fees and stuff like that go in there. So it's a good time to use some of that and put it back into the town.
Question for clarification.
Yeah.
On the second agreement, Part B came up to 153,045.
Right?
On the third agreement, Part C, came up to 95,586. What's the difference in the two? It's the same?
153,045 you're talking?
Yeah.
That's on Soper and Turner, and then it says Kelly is 95,586.
No. On the second sheet, if you look at B,
Would that be from 1 mile, from 2 miles down to the 1 mile?
Yeah, it is.
no,
Yeah,
they both say 1 mile.
no.
Right there.
The
1
B
mile.
says 1 mile, but the third sheet says 2 miles.
Mine says 1.
That's,
Oh, you're looking at the Kelly on the bottom of the
yeah, the
Turner.
Kelly, right?
Yeah, 1 mile, 1 mile.
Is it 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where did we have a difference of 153 to 90, to 95?
Yeah.
And,
Or did the numbers get switched around?
That's
for
what it looks
Turner
like
and
to
Soper?
me.
Yep.
they're exactly backwards from the other sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Good catch, Howard.
No, wait a minute though. But then, you look at that one,
Oh, but you get some more.
95,586.
Oh, I see what happened. You just,
Yeah, he flopped.
Inverted.
He
Yeah.
flopped.
Oh, I did?
yes.
No, we're still aren't matching up.
Turner,
Turner,
53, so Turner isn't even on.
Turner on the first one is 76,522.
Starting at Turner Road. Right here.
This is what happened. See the 153 on
Leading
agreement
to
3?
Flat Rock.
Look at agreement 2. That's 153 on a different road.
Mhm.
You say, he just, same thing.
Yeah, he just inverted it.
Yeah.
Now, there's still a discrepancy
you're looking
because
for
if
2
you
miles.
look
Yes, I
at,
really wanted it in 2 miles.
7,
or did it go from, hang on a second.
yeah, look at
And
it.
then I went on the 200,000 in the budget.
Oh, the 2 miles. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yep, all right. The increased mileage, all right.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Yeah, he went to 2 miles.
Got it.
so that's a 2 mile.
Yes, it's 2
Yeah,
miles.
but there's military,
Turnpike is still 1 mile.
But that's, this is starting at, the Kelly Road is 1 mile.
yeah. You got 95,000 here, you got
Yeah,
150.
so that Kelly Road would actually be 153,045 at that first stretch.
This one, or is it, that's what I know.
Well, this is a wider road.
Yeah.
It has 27 feet.
That's gonna make it considerably nicer.
So basically what you do is you call the quarry and you call the asphalt
Yeah.
plant and you tell them I'm paving
Yeah,
2 inches
27
thick,
feet.
1 mile at this width, and this is what they quote you for notice, correct?
Correct.
But there's still,
It's like we were
there's
pouring
So I can do
cement.
right, I did.
you got 153,045 on the Kelly Road for 1 mile. And that's the same here. But here you got it at 95,000.
That's because that goes from 1 mile to 2 miles.
Yeah, it does. It goes from 1 mile to 2 miles. But again, just so we're not, I mean, we're not passing this resolution tonight, so we'll work through this at the next work session.
Okay.
So that we can keep going, before we lose everybody.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And then we'll pound those out and get everything solidified.
Thank you for pointing that out.
It's not a big deal.
No,
It's good.
I thought I had it.
oh, my.
It's ridiculous.
All right, that brings us to, Unfinished business, everybody, I apologize for that momentary laugh. We all got kinda caught up in the moment. Unfinished business, everybody should be aware, if they're not, I'm gonna make sure that's on the, corrected on the website also. There's a whole posting of our, zoning advisory committee on the website that needs retraction and attraction. That's been up there since Rick Potiker was our supervisor. So I'm still working with Pat Garso, who's taken over as the new webmaster and upgrading the website. We've been trying to hold a training down here for all of us, including Mike and whoever else is in the department head, Sam, so they can utilize it and put their information on there. Right now, we're still having to go through Mr. Garso. So again, that's good. You know, stay tuned. Keep looking at the website. Some of it is antiquated, outdated. Let's say that. Some of it's outdated because the website is not antiquated. It's brand new, but a lot of the information that's up there needs to be updated, and that's what we're working our way through. So, like I say, there's one on the zoning that will have a retraction on there and an update to that. The information is not correct. Kind of goes along with this too. Town of Scholar Falls Town Board, what we'd like to do is, being that we have the zoning committee, advisory committee, working on zoning, they'll bring everything back to the town board to make final determination on. And as part of that, we do have some town officials on there. We do have some residents that are part of that advisory board. And this won't be the only one, but the chairman of that committee is Howard, and he thinks that they're far enough ahead that they're caught up with what they've been looking at and what they'd like to address, that again, they're ready to get some input. So I would like to, as a town board member, say that we should have a public input meeting for that zoning board, and that way our residents can show up and put in their input, and they can have an exchange with the advisory board, which are gonna make the recommendations back to the town board. So they looked at a schedule, Wednesday, May 4th of 2022, from 6:30 to 7:30 is when they can get those people together. And I would like to make a motion to hold that one as a public meeting.
Well, can you, before you do this, Wednesday, May 4th, you're not gonna have time, is it, I mean, what kind of a meeting is this? Public, I've never seen public input meeting. Is it just an informational
Yep.
meeting? So it's nothing to do with the whole board, correct? It's just
No.
getting together? But my idea of it is you're not gonna have time to advertise this unless you just put it on the website.
Well, I was gonna put it on the website, that's what I was thinking. If you tell me, I mean, you're the chair, so you would have a schedule of your committee of when you're gonna meet and when might be next available. How about we take out the exact date and do a motion to allow for that meeting at,
Yeah, but will we have to advertise in the paper? Can we just?
We've never done this, so I'm not sure.
I mean, I certainly think, you know, if you can put it off long enough to advertise, it would just make sense, but it doesn't.
to get as much public
I mean, you want the
input back.
you want
That's
the
what the
input,
whole
so.
premise of this thing is to get.
I don't know how many people go on the website, but
Quite a few.
yeah, so if you get some
More
that
all the
way,
time.
but you might pick up some others with a, you know, notice in the paper.
I mean,
So,
I just thought it might be a good idea. So that was a date they had kind of previously planned for one of their actual meeting nights. So I thought, you know, we could do it then, but I don't want to pick a date for your personnel because I don't even have their contacts either. So if you want to say, could we generally do that
I
I'd say
think
as
we-
a motion that we will pick a date and have a public meeting
Yeah,
and then do it that way.
yeah.
And that
just so
public
that you
meeting
can-
will be advertised, on the public website, or the town website, and we could also put an ad in the paper, right?
Right. So,
So I will take out the dates, that's what I had to go in there and get for you. And we'll say a date to be announced
By him,
by
by the committee.
by the town board.
So we can't do anything until next month.
I think if we do the
No, I think you do the
resolution
motion,
saying, or the motion
figure out
saying
if
that
it-
we're good and we're gonna do it on a future date, all I'll have to do is give you the date as a town clerk to put it in the paper to advertise for that day. All we're doing is pretty much saying that we would like them to do this. And to have them pick a day so that we can put it on there. I just don't wanna speak for the personnel on that advisory committee, cause I don't know what their schedules are.
But it's not going to be a town board meeting function.
no,
It'll be a
It's gonna
public
be a
input,
public informational meeting.
information.
Right.
meeting.
and input, yeah.
Like what was done for the comp plan. We put it out there for people to come in.
Say motion by,
Me. If I can get a second.
well, we gotta rate the motion, so how do you want me to write it, Mike?
I would just take leave the time. The
Yeah.
times look good. I would say a public informational meeting. A motion to hold a public informational meeting.
Date to be,
Date to be announced.
and for this,
At, it will be the same time, 6:30 to 7:30 PM at the town hall. And you have all
For the
that.
zoning advisory committee.
Yep, from there, yep.
I got the gist of it. Seconded,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Discussion.
Yep. Isn't that a resolution? Go ahead.
I think this is taking the terrible wrong approach. Because basically I asked the town attorney, maybe we shouldn't talk about this right now, because it is tied to our executive session. However, what I'm saying is that this meeting, this group, it's my opinion of this, is a public body. And I can guarantee you at that meeting that this gentleman is gonna be there with his camera. And then we're gonna create another situation here that we haven't got a definite answer on. And he's gonna be holding me again, writing me another email. And I've given this an awful lot of thought. And honestly, a solution, and Vern, I'm glad you walked in, because maybe you could hear me out anyway. It's a volunteer group. And Mr. Dona has applied for various volunteers, and I'd like to move that Mr. Dona be appointed to that committee. Why not? This man is a lifetime resident. He's a founder of our rescue squad here. Why can't he serve? How come he's been rejected all the time? Every committee he wants to go on, they won't appoint him. I move to appoint Richard Dona to that volunteer committee.
What I'm gonna tell you is that as long as
That's,
that.
I wanna put that on the table and see if anybody
What I'm gonna
supports.
say, and
Everybody on the
don't wanna put a lawyer on the spot again, is until that issue is resolved, that I don't think this board should make any determinations on anything that's going on with that part of it. This here is a plan that was set up from the very beginning. There was gonna be at minimum, probably, 3, possibly 4 public hearings, or not, public meetings. There will be a public hearing before we adopt whatever zoning laws are. That way, the public has the right to, at that point in time, say, no, I don't agree with it, or I don't like this, or whatever the case may be. But this committee is simply advising this board what they believe, because we've asked them to do it, what they believe are the zoning laws that need to be updated. If we, to answer your other question, tell me if I should stop there, attorney, but to answer your other question, as far as the, I just lost my whole train of thought, but as far as a public meeting, if you want to call it, or informational meeting, that he would be able to go and would be able to take, because we were asking for public opinion at that point. But the regular committee meeting is simply an advisory committee to the board, in such as that is, therefore caused the situation that you so blatantly just put on there. So you got it in there,
Well, I'll tell you
whether
what.
you wanted to or not, but that's something that we're gonna discuss.
I was asked to bring it up and I did. And I'm looking at this
Even
website.
after I asked you to wait until we
Hang
would bring it
on,
back.
this is an open meeting. I'm an elected official.
Yeah.
I will bring it up. Our website right now says this: volunteer help
That will be brought
wanted.
up in there.
Is there openings, Reg, on the board, on that?
But that's
Meeting
up to
crew, do you
the
know?
committee.
Sure, it's an
Chairman.
ongoing request right here on our website. Oh, you didn't get this?
No, I might have, but I was here late.
Yeah, there's no, right there in the bottom. And Mike, I spoke to you about it. I don't know what kind of an input you have back to me on it, but we spoke yesterday about it as well. I'd like to see this thing end. That's what I'd like.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely would.
And this is a good way of ending it. Put them on the committee and let's go with this thing.
I don't control that committee as far as who is on that committee.
No, but we can vote to put them on
we-
if we want to.
We actually are asking for their input. And we have a chair for that committee.
Just from your.
But-
Thank you. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh,
Is that what
okay.
yours I said?
No, that's,
Okay.
no, that's the
Thank
next
you.
one, no. Mike, I spoke to you
So,
yesterday.
again, I
What are
guess-
your thoughts?
I'd like to, I've got some questions since this is all coming out, so I need to go in that executive and find out, get some more answers.
Respect that.
So you asked for discussion. There was still a motion on the floor. On the public input meeting. Are you done your discussion?
Yes, thank you.
Where are we?
No. Where we were was I had made the motion, Mr. Parati had seconded the motion.
So we're at roll call?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
No,
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Alright, that concludes unfinished business. New business. This is, the only bid we've received to your office?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a contract, bid on highway garage floor, and we only received one. Grab my letter opener.
Definitely a sealed bid.
Yeah, they definitely sealed that bid, I'll tell you that, making me work at it. Okay. Okay, this is from Renee. And it is in the amount of $203,400.
That's for the garage floor.
And that is for the garage floor. Originally, as part of our services through Barton and LaJudas, all bids were supposed to go back to Barton and LaJudas for ranking. Being that we only have one, it's pretty easy to rank that. The only thing I would say is, I would suggest that we talk to Barton and LaJudas as our engineering firm to see whether this is in alignment, being that we only have one. We still have the right to refuse any and all bidding and before it's awarded. So I would like to move this forward to Barton and LaJudas and ask them to take a look at it to see if it's within reason, being that we only got one and we have nothing to compare it to.
And they can also look to make sure that
It complies with
the
act.
bid.
Because yeah, it was about an inch and a half thick, the paperwork. I'll pass this around to the board to look at, to verify that.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I understand.
What am I verifying?
The amount that they put in the bid for.
Yeah.
'Cause it-
Yeah, I got it.
It said it would be open and read aloud.
What you did,
Yes.
that's it?
Kevin, was that the only person that even looked at it? Do you know of?
I have no idea because we
Mike,
put
do you
the
know?
advertisement out and whoever answers to it and bids on
Sure.
it, bids on it. So I mean,
Yeah,
it definitely went out. It was, that advertisement was written by Barton and LaJudas and then sent to this animal here to advertise as they had posted. There was one correction that we had made on it, and that was the opening date of the bid from what Barton and LaJudas had gave us to what the final was, just to align it with our meeting tonight. Because I think they had the 21st, right, originally?
Right.
And we changed it to the 27th so that we could read it out loud at a meeting without holding a special meeting.
And the ad ran on March, excuse me, April 2nd. There's a copy of it and
And I do have,
and here's the bid, what was put in the paper.
Yep.
And this was from the Press Republican.
and that was with that bid, I'm sorry. That was,
What was the bid we had? Didn't we have bids in the fall?
what we had was a rough estimate of what that, in the bid, yeah, in the fall, it was like 65,000 when we wanted to do it last fall. And I knew it was gonna, caution the board at that time when Mr. Snyder, asked that we hold off because we were going into plow season and it could cost a lot more in the spring.
Never imagined that kind of thing.
I never would have
Never.
imagined, and he
Never.
couldn't have
Oh my
imagined
God.
And who was the other, who gave us that 65? They didn't bid apparently, because I don't remember Renee bidding last time, did they?
No, we didn't get bids. What they
Oh.
did is they go
Estimate.
through their contractors and Barton and LaJudas estimated the cost of the project at the time between 55 and 56, or 55 and 65,000. But that's way higher than any of the estimates we had got.
Right.
Potential estimates we got. We haven't received any estimate. So I don't know. That's a good question for them. That's what they do. They're the engineers and they can tell us that.
were you gonna bring up anything about the town of Greece and piggybacking? Or-
I have to finish going through. I haven't talked to him about that yet. Let's see where he stands on that, or Byrne, or you did give me your opinion on that. So we'll bring that back to a work session. I think it may be worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? at least they have projects that, if you're piggybacking off of that project, you got a pretty good essence of what it costs, what you do. You have exactly what it costs them. And then you're allowed to piggyback off of their contract.
When you're piggybacking, is it the contractors from out of the area who come here?
Now according to them, they utilize the closest contractors that they have. Each company works with XYZ contractors, and what they do is they would use the ones that are closest to your area, is how it's explained to me. There is, that night I brought it into the work session, that things like that quick of all the different contractors are in there, so I could show you that list, but I don't remember.
Are there any here, close by?
Like I said, I
remember.
I don't recall exactly what ones are on there. I know they break it up, I think they call it region. And this region. Yeah, you
Mike,
got
you
it.
can take that with you if you want.
Those are ones.
That's what you has given me.
Yep. So, Reggie's had a chance to look at them, so you can too.
Yeah.
Like I said, without looking at the spreadsheets in there.
Wow,
There-
what a shocking bid.
I agree. It was not what I thought it was gonna be. But things are just crazy right now. Alright, so, everybody's in consensus with me bringing that back to Barton and Judas and then, getting their opinion before we award it. Okay, that brings us to, resolutions. Resolution 22-43. Motion by, be it resolved that the town of Scholar Falls Town Board acknowledges the resignation of Paul LaCourt, Highway Department, MEO, effective date of May 18th, 2022. Under discussion, I'll just say, this open position will be advertised in the Press Republican. Alright.
Motion.
Second.
By Mr. Newman. Seconded by Mr. Facto. Roll call?
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. So approved. Resolution 22-44. Motion by be resolved that the town of Scholar Falls authorize the creation of 2 additional part-time building and grounds maintenance workers. One being seasonal for the summer months and the other being part-time year-round. And be it further resolved that an ad for the position will be placed in the newspaper and the town official website. These positions will be in addition to the current building and grounds position that will be advertised due to the resignation of Dana Goslin, who retired. So, any further discussion?
Do we,
And, go ahead.
we talked about this at the work session, right? Okay. And as far as their duties and what we expected.
Right, and those duties, before we hire somebody, will be spelled out. I want to get with you guys, but I want to get particularly with Mr. Goslin and Mr. Campbell to get a good understanding of what the laborers they hire now do. And I definitely want to get with Mr. Goslin because he ran the buildings and grounds department for the last several years for us, and I would really like something written up as to his duties. I mean, he did a ton of stuff and everything from helping with the rec department, and they helped each other back and forth. They've helped Mr. Snyder with flagging and stuff like that while they were paving. The town groups, departments work very well together here because we're so a small town as a Class B town, so everybody needs to work together. But this will help us to get some projects done that really need to get accomplished. I don't know if I answered your
Yep.
question.
Thank you.
All right, so get a motion
Motion.
by Vern, Mr. Bruno,
Second.
Mr. Newman. There's no further discussion, roll call?
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. That's gonna entail a couple other resolutions as far as moving some money for salaries and stuff like that.
Will that come out of, rec? Or buildings and
No,
grounds?
buildings and grounds, and we might have to do a couple line changes, but, we gotta get to civil service and the other one, so this is the first step to work that out. Resolution 2245. Motion by whereas the town has received notice that spotless janitorial services will no longer be able to provide the service to the town of Schuyler Falls building as of May 29, 2022, be it therefore resolved that the town board acknowledges this and will place an ad in the Press Republican to seek another janitorial service. Again, they've got another big contract that they're working on, and I'll just leave it at that.
Motion?
By
Second.
Mr. Facto. And who was the other one? Mr. Prati. If there's no discussion, roll call?
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. So, approved. Okay, the next one will be resolution 22-46. Motion by be resolved that the town of Schuyler Falls approves the purchase from the town of Wilmington for the highway department of a 2010 Peterbilt dump truck, VIN number 1NPTL 00X6AD 102794. The purchase price is $35,000 for this truck, and it will be sold as is. I'd just like to add on there with all snow equipment, correct?
Accessory,
The
yes.
plows, the sander, and everything else. So just add with snow equipment.
Doesn't say that in their proposal though. It got attached.
I'm gonna fall back on Mike Snyder for this one. Mr. Snyder, you've talked to the highway superintendent up there,
Correct.
and was that or was that not the agreement, even though we don't have it here? So I would say
It is the agreement.
I would say contingent upon that fact that I would move forward with that correction, and if it does not turn out that way, then we won't purchase the truck until that's straightened out. Does that make sense?
So what are we adding?
Well, to put it generally, the snow equipment, which would be the sander, the
The
spreader, sander, the
yeah.
wing, the front,
And the
Plow.
slusher, yes.
the what you
Front
call
plow
slusher,
and
or
the wing and the sander. The whole truck ready, the whole complete
So
plow.
can we just do, can we just put one thing, or how do you want to do this?
I would
With all,
With complete plow.
okay,
equipment.
so discussion. We'll put it under discussion.
Sure,
What do you
to
want to put?
include all necessary snow removal equipment. I would use it that way, that would cover sanders and everything else, right?
Yes. Yeah. All the plow equipment.
I mean, it includes even
It's
the rack.
turn
and the-
keys, drop everything down and go plow. Yeah.
So we might get another description from them, including that? Is that what we would need to do?
Yeah, I would, when they turn it over, we're gonna get a bill of sale. So in the bill of sale, I would have them write that in there. They can, Mike, if you wanna work with them, like, I don't know if you gotta get specific and say a Viking, snow plow or whatever. I think that's usually what you use, isn't it, Viking? Something like that.
Yeah.
But whatever's got on it, just make sure that they have that. Okay. At least that was my understanding.
So are we doing contingent upon all necessary snow equipment? Or what are we doing? Because I know you mentioned contingent, this way we know what we're doing.
Right.
So how do you want me to word it?
Contingent on all,
Price is
snow.
contingent on
On
all
snow removal
snow
equipment.
and sanding, snow removal and sanding equipment.
is included.
Okay.
That'd be okay, right, to be added right to the bill of sale?
Yeah.
Or is that gonna be an issue?
Well, if it's just 35,000, I think that's what Mary did the
Yeah.
check for everything.
Right.
I mean,
But no, you want me to have them put,
oh, I don't know,
You know,
that's up to.
If you go to buy it, you just make sure it's all there for you.
They're, basically, Mike, they're gonna give you
a bill
bill
of
of
sale
sale.
for 35,000?
on the bill of sale.
Yeah.
We're just saying it's contingent that all those items that normally are on the truck, just so, because this basically, and this basically says we're buying a yellow, you
Yeah.
know, Peterbilt 2010, for 35,000. It doesn't have any of the snow equipment that we know is
Yeah, it
on
just
that truck,
says-
cause
it
I've
just
seen the
says dump
pictures.
truck.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yes,
just,
I do.
when you contact Wilmington, just make sure that they're aware that the bill of sale
Mhm.
has to include, you know, all the snow and sanding equipment
Yeah.
that, you know, they can list it if they wanna go into that detail, but I think the board would be happy with, as long as it's listed as that, all, with all snow. And as is, I mean, we would do the same thing if we were selling it, and we're definitely not gonna warranty it, so.
Mhm.
Like, you've looked at it, your guys looked at it, the mechanics looked at it, and it looks like
Mhm.
a good fit for the fleet at this time, right?
Correct.
I'll move.
Alright, so, motion is by Mr. Newman,
Second.
by Mr. Parati. Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yeah. So approved. As long as they give you the stuff, you got a truck. Alright, resolution 2247. Motion by be resolved that an informational meeting will be held on May 17th of 2020 at 6 p.m. for the residents in the Macy Lane Water District, to give the residents in that district an overall view of the proposed project, to update the public water line main in that district, and to give them an opportunity to provide input. So,
I'll move with that.
Mr. Facto.
Second.
Was
Can
that
you do that?
Vern? Mr. Bruno? I have, full letters that I'll have that night, the ones that I showed you guys already, outlining what we're doing, so they have a good understanding. They can ask us questions, but at least they'll have something.
Kevin, what was the
That's all I
time
got
you
for
said?
discussion. That is going to be 6 PM. We're
And
going,
did you say 2020 or 2022?
2022.
Okay, I thought he said 2020.
He didn't say 2020.
I was gonna say,
My bad.
no, that's what I was saying.
No,
Okay.
it's, I can't go back in time, but we'll plan it for 2022. The only discussion we had was whether we could do it earlier, but with the advertisement and put it in the paper, we had to push it to there, because I really wanted to get everything done for this month, but this will push it back 1 month, but at least everybody will have a say. Okay. That was my discussion, so if nobody else has any more discussion, I guess we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. That's that for resolutions. Alright, claims. Only are gonna be 2022005322 through 2022005543. Regular claims 20220054 through 2022000635. And payroll claims are gonna be 2022000499 through 2022000531. General fund, $37,147.26. Highway, $53,979.06. Audit only, $2,453.21. Woods Mills Water, $422.01. Morrisonville Water, $5,868.20. Macy Lane Water, $497.39. Let's see, anything else, so if I can get a motion to pay the claims
Motion.
by Mr. Parati, I'll second it. Matter of fact, there's much tonight.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Alright, I think before we go into public addresses and close out, I think then we're to the point where we gotta go into executive session.
You want to do public forum first?
Yeah.
As long as that doesn't close, me, you good with that?
No, we don't have close until,
Okay. Alright, then go ahead and do, public forum. And addresses.
Yeah, I'd like to make a little bit of a complaint.
Yep.